People who've followed my videos will know how much I disapprove of the Labour Party's planned imposition of 20% VAT on private school fees. I don't think education should be the subject of financial. You shouldn't have to pay for education at all. You certainly shouldn't be making money out of it. You certainly shouldn't be adding VAT, taxing it. It's just wrong. It's a move that has sparked legal challenges and significant public debate over its implications. Partly because it's couched in the language of class warfare, that people who have invested in private education are rich and can therefore pay for it. Actually, they often scrimp and save and forego other luxuries that many parents whose children go to a state school can enjoy. They do it because maybe they can't move into a better catchment area, maybe their children have particular needs that their parents know will not be catered to in a state school. And while the policy aims to raise funds for the public education system, which I think is a fairly futile aim, you don't raise funds for education by advertising for more teachers. You raise the standards of schools by changing the way we do the teaching. We're long overdue a change. And this raises questions about fairness, especially for single mothers, lower income families, and parents relying on private schools to meet special educational needs. A compelling case has emerged involving a single mother of 3 children. 2 of her children, both with autism, have their fees covered by the state. However, she pays £14,000 annually for her daughter, who attends a private school, to help boost her confidence and provide a respite from her caregiving role at home. With the VAT change, her fees will rise by £280 a month, an expense that her mother describes as impossible to meet. As a single parent with a part-time job, this added cost threatens her ability to maintain her daughter's education, which has reportedly allowed her to thrive. Her argument is that the tax discriminates against women, particularly single mothers, who statistically earn less than men and often shoulder more childcare responsibilities. She argues that such a policy breaches her daughter's human rights under the European Convention on Human Rights and the Human Rights Act. The case isn't an isolated incident. Rachel Reeves confirmed in the recent budget that this VAT on private school fees, expected to generate £1.8 billion annually by 2029, would fund 6,500 additional teachers in state schools. Where are they coming from? You may have the money to pay for them, but where are they coming from? Because if there are so many teachers waiting to teach, they'll be here already. The challenge is whether the social good of bolstering state education justifies what some claim is a discriminatory tax. We must consider that the gender pay gap in the UK remains at 7%, with single mothers often earning less than their male counterparts, thereby limiting their ability to absorb this additional financial burden. More than that, these schools are going to have to register for VAT. They're going to have to change the terms of their fee charging. They're going to have to, all in a matter of 6 weeks. That's extraordinary. Another legal challenge comes from Alexis Quinn, a mother who argues that the policy is discriminatory against children with special education needs, SEN. Her daughter, who struggled in a large state school, is one of many SEN pupils in private education now, without an official education health and care plan. Why? Because it takes 2 years to put in place. For the thousands of families with SEN children in private schools, VAT could severely restrict access to education tailored to their needs, leaving vulnerable students to navigate the often strained resources of the state system. The Independent Schools Council The ISC, representing over 1,400 private schools, has joined these legal challenges, suggesting this VAT policy is incompatible with human rights legislation. The Council argues that the government's approach may infringe upon the rights of children who benefit from smaller, specialised learning environments that private institutions can provide that are simply impossible in the larger state schools. If the policy is found incompatible with human rights, the government could face a difficult choice: either uphold the VAT or revise the policy. Uphold the VAT in the face of the legal challenge, or revise the policy to meet that legal challenge. Critics argue that Labour's VAT imposition exemplifies targeting institutions like Eton and Harrow while ignoring the fact that many private schools serve families who are far from wealthy. This mother's school, she notes, is not making millions. Her family and many others may become unintended collateral damage in a campaign against elite institutions with potential consequences for social mobility, educational choice, and parental autonomy. The question here extends beyond revenue generation to the philosophical and practical implications of taxation on education in principle. Should the state limit parents' choices by taxing private education out of reach? Or should there be allowances for individuals and families who fall between the cracks of public provision? As more cases emerge, the Labour Party's policy on VAT for private education may face ongoing scrutiny, not only for its legal sustainability, but for its perceived impact on already disadvantaged groups. This is to say nothing, incidentally, of military families. The VAT policy on private schools raises profound issues touching on gender equality, access to education, human rights. For the Labour Party, it will be essential to balance the pursuit of an improved state education system with fair and equitable treatment of all families, especially those who are single-parent households or who support children with special needs. While the policy aims to reduce the problems in state education, to reinforce state education, public education, its effectiveness and fairness may be continually questioned in the coming months. To interrupt a child's education halfway through the year, to interrupt a child's education halfway through their GCSE training, halfway through their A-levels, halfway through their primary school education. Education is a process. If you want to make profound educational changes, then you make it years in advance. And you make sure it's right. This knee-jerk response is, as somebody pointed out the other day, spiteful and nasty. It's cruel and it's thoughtless. And I think fundamentally it's morally wrong. I remember talking to Piers Corbyn, Jeremy Corbyn's brother, and we were talking about university education and the need for university education to be free. And he thought, he was pointing out that Jeremy, his brother, had got a list of subjects which should be free and a list of subjects which shouldn't. And I absolutely disapprove of that. Of course, what Keir Starmer has done is to increase the tuition fee. All education should be free. We should find other ways to pay for that education, whether privately or publicly, it doesn't matter. We should find other ways, but we should not be paying for education in the same way as we shouldn't be paying for religion. We shouldn't be selling education. We shouldn't be selling religion. We can sell time, and it's important that children have access to really good resources. I would like to see those resources wheeled out so that schools can buy in the best courses so that teachers can spend their time focused on the children, ensuring those children respond properly to the courses which are presented. At the moment, teachers are trying to juggle 3 or 4 different tasks in the classroom, plus all the bureaucracy. And what disappears is their inspiration, their leadership. And there are many inspiring teachers I know. But there used to be a time when inspiration was a given. Many students who I talk to find school boring, they say. How can that possibly be? I was talking to one student today who is delighted that he's getting time off school in the next 3 days, I think. He can't wait for it. He hates school. Why? Because it's the same formulaic stuff which he gets every day from his teachers. The handouts, which are dull as ditch water. I've seen them. We need a different methodology. And VAT on private education or adverts for more teachers is not the way forward.